Okay, I'm going to show you a really excellent resource for keeping track of Cyclone Alfred. This is called windy.com, windy.com, developed by a Czech guy who wanted a weather um, map service for his outdoor expeditions. It's gone on to become a really, really sophisticated system. I'm going to walk you around it quickly, just for a few minutes, just to show you the main features, and then you can have a go yourself. All right. So what I've got here is you'll notice this is if I scroll with two fingers on my trackpad, that zooms out. And then if I scroll down with my two fingers, that zooms in. You can get the same zooming effect with double clicking, zooms in, and shift double click zooms out. Okay, so we're on the east coast of Australia. That big swirling mass is Cyclone Alfred. I just close this. If you come over to the right-hand side where it's got the big menu thing there, and I'll just go down and click each one of these tabs. FYI, if you click that big menu thingy, you'll notice that there's a whole shed load of data that's available on this platform. And if you click the red cross, it goes away. And what we've got here basically is a selection of the total of the weather of the data streams. Now, not all of these data streams will necessarily be populated because it just depends on whether there is actually data streams, being collected for your region, but there is no end of stuff. For example, wind gust, wind accumulation, pressure, temperature, dew point, humidity, wet bulb temperature, solar power, UV index, city heat maps, rain, thunder, rain accumulation, new snow. Probably don't have that. Snow depth, probably don't have snow depth data for Brisbane right now. High clouds, medium clouds, cloud base, waves, swell, sea temperature. It's incredible. An amazing amount of data in here. Okay, but let's not get too distracted because we just want to I don't know, just get present to some of the physics of Cyclone Alfred. So let's zoom in a bit more on the cyclone. Let's bring it over here. You've also got down here, you've got zoom in and zoom out buttons, plus and minus down there if you want to use that as well. So what we're actually looking at here is if we select weather radar. So weather radar is basically like the rain event. And down the bottom here, you'll see right at the bottom, you've got a scale that shows what each of the colors mean. DBZ, I'm not sure what that means. That might be a rain measure, is it? There's another link over here on the menu called radar, which basically shows the same thing, but it's not that it includes cloud as well as the heavier rain. Okay, so weather radar and radar. And you've got this link called satellite, which is predominantly just, covered in a cloud cover at the moment. And this is probably coming off the Himawari 8 Japanese weather satellite, I would say. Then you've got wind, which is probably wind and rain is going to be the most relevant. So down here, very bottom right, you've got the scale, which is in knots. Now, there's two types of knots, nautical knots and statute knots. I'm not sure which they use for meteorology. They're basically the same, but it's approximately 1.8-ish, 1.8 knots, 1.8 kilometers per hour per knot, approximately. So if you kind of double it, take a bit off, it gives you a rough estimate in kilometers per hour. There's also, you can go in here and find the settings where you can change the units. Okay, so so basically what this is showing is if we go into the middle, you see if you click, you can end up with that little flag comes up. So it shows 3 knots, There's 0 knots. So that's the middle of the eye of the cyclone. And as you come further out from the eye, you get to 6 knots. Then you're at 13 knots. And here you are at 23 knots. And that band there is 32 knots. And that band there is 38, 39, 40, 39. Okay, so the strongest winds are in this band around here, and at 40 knots, that's 70 plus, 70 or so kilometers per hour. See if I can change the units. Change units. Here we go. EFT, meters per second, miles per hour, kilometers per hour. There you go. So 72 kilometers an hour. Now you're going to see it as 74, 61. So we're getting, anyway, so that gives you an idea there, right? Over here, we've got rain and thunder. What does that show us? We can close that. So that's going to be basically showing, this is millimeters of rain. So this is 20 to 30 millimeters of rain. But again, over what duration, it's not specified. Over here, we've got temperature, which is particularly relevant vis-a-vis sea temperature, because 26.5 is the magical number that sustains a tropical cyclone. Is 24, so that just from sea temperature alone, it suggests that the thing's going to be dialing itself down. But it's these elevated temperatures off the coast which has allowed the cyclone to actually come further south than it normally would. Okay, and then we've got hurricane track. Now we can go here. Now there's a few hurricanes around the world that you can track, but we want to track Alfred. And go back to there with that, close that, and then hurricane track. Okay, so if we open this panel up, then we can actually see the line. Now, if we go back, see if we can see those funny dog legs. Yeah, here we go. Look. Don't want that. It's not going like that. Close that. Yeah, so look at this track. It's sort of come down the coast, heading out towards the east, does this huge bloody U-turn, comes in, and this here is one of these little dog legs. It's not shown it perfectly. That explains why the cyclone has been delayed a bit. So let's close that back up. But anyway, and we go hurricane track, and that will show us the, we're doing hurricane track. There's a way of getting the Alfred, close that, hurricane track. Anyway, there was a way of having it so that the little cyclone symbol stayed there. I don't know how that works now. Okay, and then go clouds. So this is cloud cover in various, whatever, don't know enough about it. And then waves. And so this is, the menu down the bottom is in meters, showing a lot of 6-meter waves, and so forth. Okay. And then over here, we've got rain accumulation, which is pretty serious. There's going to be some big numbers coming up in the next 48 hours. Anyway, that's an overview of windy that allows you to keep track of the weather that we've got coming our way. You can actually hear it starting to pick up consistently outside. Everybody stay safe, and I'll do some more later.